Hey, juniors, how you doing? It is hump day. That's right. It is Wednesday, January the 18th. And let's take a look at our assignment for today. And this is another evaluating message or evaluating the writing. What we want to do is we want to be able to take a piece of text and we want to be critical consumers of that text and be able to not only understand what was being said, but how was it being said? What was done intentionally to make that message come through, to convey that to us, the audience? Okay. So that'll be our goal today. And we're going to be doing that by looking at address on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. So on October 28th, 1936, which by the way just happens to be 63 years before I was born, President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, gave a speech at the rededication, the 50th anniversary and rededication of the Statue of Liberty. Now, I think you probably remember the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift to us from France. I assume they brought it over in chunks or something and they set it all up. And this was a gift from them to say, hey, we're friends. We have an undying friendship together, right? Seems like kind of a um, maybe a little bit big present to bring somebody, right? That seems like a big present to bring, but it was a present from them, and it does stand for like liberty, democracy, and freedom. Those kind of ideals that we have. Interesting to note also that at the time it was put at Ellis Island because at the time that was one of the main entry points for immigrants, especially those coming over from Europe, and that it would be the thing that greeted these immigrants. And what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the speech. Now, right here, you will see that there is a audio version of the speech. It is, again, we're talking like 100 years ago, right? We're talking 100 years ago, more, almost 100 years ago, this thing was done. So the audio isn't the best. You do need to start about a minute and a half in, which it is set to do that, and then it runs to the end, at least the excerpt that we're doing, okay? Let's take a look at the text here, and pretty straightforward. We just a little bit of an intro here. FDR, he was the only four-term U.S. president, and he was easily on his way to his second reelection. And he was the guy that pushed through the New Deal, right? Like after the Great Depression, he was the guy that pushed through the New Deal. Some things that you're probably kind of familiar with. He also was the president that led us up to World War II in 1941. So there's the link to the recording if you need it, and it starts at 116. Runs to the end. Here's the speech right here, and we have it numbered by paragraph. All right, so the questions that you are going to be asked to answer down here. Number one, what is symbolism, right? Symbolism is when you get an image that represents an idea or a concept, right? Like this represents this. Roses represent love, right? Like you don't give roses to people you hate. That's not what it stands for, right? So symbolism, what is symbolism? Symbolism is something that we see that lets us see a better or different concept. So then we want to look at what details about the Statue of Liberty from the speech are the most interesting things to you. What really stands out to you when you think of that speech and when you hear and see what he talks about, what really jumped out at you? Then we're going to look specifically at paragraph 3. What does he mean by the universal language of human aspiration? Okay. Aspirations are dreams and goals. Okay. So universal language, what we're saying is like everybody, right? Universal would be everybody. Okay. So what does he mean by this? Now, those are what the words mean, but what does he mean by that? Summarize Roosevelt's description of the Statue of Liberty's significance in the first 5 paragraphs. What has prompted his oratory on this occasion? Now, this is going to take a little bit of thought and a little bit of effort. You want to take those first 5 and then say, here's what he's trying to say, right? Like, here's what he's saying. He said, look at the Statue of Liberty. This is what it represents. This is why it's important. What is that interrelationship to the occasion that he is giving this speech on? Look at paragraph 7. What does Roosevelt believe binds Americans together? What brings us all together? What makes us Americans? What's the common element that makes us all one people, right? And then what does he cite for evidence? What is his proof, right? Like he says, oh, look, here's the reason. Here's the proof that what I'm saying is real. Um, looks like it just repeated there. Looks like it's the same one. So you won't have to do that one twice. In paragraph 11, how does Roosevelt describe the Statue of Liberty symbolism? So when he says the Statue of Liberty represents this, how does he say that? What does he use? What language and ideas and images does he use to get that point across? What imagery does he use in paragraph 12? Now, imagery, again, just as a refresher, imagery is when we describe something, we draw a visual picture for something that the audience can see and empathize or feel with, right? And then what does it mean here? What comparison does Roosevelt make as he concludes his speech? So at the end of the wrapping up, what does he relate to each other, right? He says it's like this, right? Like, what is that comparison? And what is he trying to say? And then finally, how does Roosevelt's speech convey what the Statue of Liberty symbolizes? So if you think about overall the whole thing, and he's trying to say this is what the Statue of Liberty means, how did he get that point across? What were the things that he did to make that clear to us? Okay, so that is the assignment for today, and we are going to be doing that in class. We'll do some sharing, so you won't have to do all this work yourself. We'll do like split it up, and then we'll share our answers with each other. Everyone is expected to do this assignment because you will need this work moving forward. Okay, so as you are working, or if you are working from home and you need help or you get stuck, please make sure you're reaching out to Mr. McGuire so that we can give that to you. You can be successful, and good luck, everybody.